I was assigned pioneer Edward Lee Thorndike. Thorndike is considered the father of educational psychology. Edward Lee Thorndike was born to Edward and Abby Thorndike on August 31st, 1874, in Williamsburg, Massachusetts. His father was a Methodist minister. An interesting fact about Thorndike was that the first psychology book he read he did not like. Thankfully, he reconsidered. Edward was the middle child of 3 boys. His brother Lynn was a medievalist. Medieval studies are an academic interdisciplinary study of the Middle Ages. Lynn specialized in the history of science and magic during the Middle Ages. His other brother Ashley was an English professor and noted authority on Shakespeare. Edward graduated his early education in 1891 from the Roxbury Latin School. Founded in 1645, it is billed as the oldest independent school in continuous existence in North America. It is a private boys' school serving grades 7 through 12. The Roxbury Latin School boasts a long history of notable alumni. Edward then went on to obtain his Bachelor's of Science in English from Wesleyan University. He then attended Harvard University and obtained his Master's of Arts degree. His main interest was etiology, or how animals learn. The main animal he became focused on was man. Edward completed his PhD at Columbia University under the supervision of James McKean Cattell. Thorndike's doctoral dissertation was Animal Intelligence, an experimental study of the associative processes in animals. This document was considered the foundation document of modern comparative psychology. Edward went on to marry Elizabeth Moulton on August 29, 1900. They went on to have 4 children, 1 daughter and 3 sons, each of whom earned their PhD in various subjects. Elizabeth in mathematics, Robert in psychology, and finally, Edward and Alan in physics. At one point in his early career, Thorndike purchased a large tract of land on the Hudson River and encouraged other researchers and scientists to settle around him. He had created an educational colony, with him serving as the tribal chief. Thorndike spent 1 year employed at the College for Women of Case Western Reserve in Cleveland, Ohio. He was not happy teaching here and returned to New York. He was hired at the Teachers College of Columbia University in New York as an instructor of psychology. He spent his career here teaching, studying, experimenting, researching, and authoring countless publications. In 1912, he was elected president of the American Psychological Association. In the years to follow, he received many accolades. In 1917, he was elected a fellow of the American Statistical Association and one of the first psychologists to be admitted to the National Academy of Sciences. In 1934, Thorndike was elected president of the American Association for the Advancement of Science. In 1937, he became the 2nd president of the Psychometric Society. This society publishes the scientific journal Psychometrica, which publishes articles that concentrate in the area of statistics. Thorndike was influenced by Ivan Pavlov and his documentation of how animals learned and responded to stimuli, as well as William James after reading his book, The Principles of Psychology. In return, Thorndike influenced many behaviorists and psychologists to include B.F. Skinner, Ralph Rutan, and Edwin Ray Guthrie. Why was Thorndike a pioneer? He was a leader in behaviorism, studying learning and the learning processes as well as learning curves. Adult learning was one of his central focuses during World War I, where he developed tests to evaluate the intelligence of soldiers. He evaluated illiterate, unschooled, and non-English speaking recruits. He believed that the ability to learn does not decline until the age of 35 and then only declined at the rate of 1% per year after the age of 35. The tests he developed for World War I recruits were later adapted to evaluate the intelligence of school-aged children. Thorndike developed the law of effect. It states that responses that produce a satisfying effect in a particular situation become more likely to occur again in that situation. Likewise, responses that produce a discomforting effect will become less likely to occur as well. Thorndike published 508 titles. His publications include his doctoral dissertation, Animal Intelligence and Experimental Study of Associative Processes in Animals, 1898. The Elements of Psychology, 1905. The Principles of Teaching Based on Psychology, 1906. Animal Intelligence Experimental Studies, 1911. The Psychology of Learning, 1913. Educational Psychology, The Psychology of Learning, 1913. The Teacher's Word Book, 1921. The Psychology of Arithmetic, 1922. Human Learning, 1931, and so many more. Thorndike received 3 honorary Doctor of Science degrees from Wesleyan University, Columbia University, and the University of Chicago. Thorndike also received 4 honorary Doctor of Law degrees from the University of Iowa, Harvard University, Edinburgh University of Edinburgh, Scotland, and the University of Athens, Greece. He was a member of 9 different professional organizations. Beloved father, husband, scientist, educator, and author Edward Lee Thorndike passed away in Montrose, New York on August 9, 1949, at the age of 74, just 22 days shy of his 75th birthday. Thorndike's controversial views included being a proponent of eugenics. Eugenics is a fringe set of beliefs and practices that aim to improve the genetic quality of the human population. Eugenicists are interested in excluding people and groups judged to be inferior and tend to promote or include those who are judged to be superior. He believed that selective breeding could alter man's capacity to learn, to keep sane, to cherish justice, or to be happy. He stated there is no more certain and economical way to improve man's environment as to improve his nature. He was more nature than nurture in his beliefs. He held many sexist and misogynistic views towards women and believed that women should be submissive to men. He also expressed racist and anti-Semitic views. Due to these views, it was voted by the Board of Trustees of the Teachers College that his name be removed from the campus building Thorndike Hall at Columbia University in August of 2020. Born during the Civil War Reconstruction era, living during the American Industrial Revolution, living to see many of the Native American conflicts of those trying to hold on to their tribal lands, Chester A. Arthur's Egyptian expedition, the Spanish-American War, the Philippine-American War, the Moro and Boxer rebellions, the Mexican Border War, the United States occupations of Nicaragua, Veracruz, Haiti, and the Dominican Republic, World War I, the Great Depression, and World War II, it is no wonder why Thorndike was interested in learning and behavior studies. We today have not even come close to living as much history as he did. Edward Lee Thorndike was a psychologist, scientist, researcher, author, and above all else, an educator, and his contributions to educational psychology remain a strong part of the foundation we study today.